OpenAI devday इवेंट में चैट जीपीटी से रिलेटेड काफी अपडेट्स आए हैं और ये अब तक के सबसे बड़े अपडेट्स हैं इस साल के अकॉर्डिंग टू मी। और मैं ये सब बताने वाला हूं तो एंड तक इस वीडियो को जरूर देखिए और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब। नाउ फॉर द स्टार्टर्स, नया GPT-4 टर्बो मॉडल आ चुका है और इसके साथ 6 नए मेजर अपडेट्स आए हैं। पहला, कॉन्टेक्स्ट लेंथ। इट कैन नाउ सपोर्ट अप टू 128K टोकन्स, मींस अप्रॉक्स 96,000 वर्ड्स इनपुट या आउटपुट करवा सकते हैं, जो एक 300 पेजेस की स्टैंडर्ड बुक के बराबर होता है। और इसके आसपास सिर्फ एंथ्रोपिक क्लाउड है जो 100 के टोकन्स पर वर्क करता है।
Supports up to 128,000 tokens of context. That's 300 pages of a standard book, 16 times longer than our 8K context. And in addition to longer context length, you'll notice that the model is much more accurate over a long context. Number 2, more control. We've heard loud and clear.
सेकेंड वन इज मोर कंट्रोल। अब डेवलपर्स की डिमांड पर इसमें जेसन मोड ऐड किया है, जिससे API कीज यूज करने में और आसानी होगी।
Called JSON mode, which ensures that the model will respond with valid JSON. This has been a huge developer request. It'll make calling APIs much easier.
नेक्स्ट इज द फंक्शन कॉलिंग एंड रिप्रोड्यूसेबल आउटपुट्स। इससे कंसिस्टेंट रिजल्ट मिलेंगे एंड बेटर कंट्रोल चैट्स पे।
We're also introducing a new feature called reproducible outputs. You can pass a C parameter and it'll make the model return consistent outputs. This, of course, gives you a higher degree of control over model behavior. This rolls out in beta today.
थर्ड वन इज बेटर नॉलेज। सितंबर 2021 की जगह अब अप्रैल 2023 तक की नॉलेज होगी और आप इसमें एक्सटर्नल डॉक्यूमेंट्स या इन्फो भी अपलोड कर सकते हैं, जिससे अप टू डेट रिजल्ट्स मिलेंगे।
Knowledge. You want these models to be able to access better knowledge about the world. So do we. So we're launching retrieval in the platform. You can bring knowledge from outside documents or databases into whatever you're building. We're also updating the knowledge cutoff. We are just as annoyed as all of you, probably more, that GPT-4's knowledge about the world ended in 2021. We will try to never let it get that out of date again. GPT-4 Turbo has knowledge about the world up to April of 2023, and we will continue to improve that over time.
फोर्थ वन इज न्यू मोडालिटीज, जिसका सीधा मतलब है डॉली 3, GPT-4 टर्बो एंड टेक्स्ट टू स्पीच। ये तीनों एक साथ मिलेंगे नए अपग्रेड में। एंड देन विस्पर V3, जो स्पीच रिकॉग्निशन सॉफ्टवेयर है, ये टेक्स्ट से स्पीच में कन्वर्ट करेगा।
4, new modalities. Surprising no one, DALL-E 3, GPT-4 Turbo with Vision, and the new text-to-speech model are all going into the API today. Recognition model, Whisper V3 today, and it'll be coming soon to the API. It features improved performance across many languages, and we think you're really going to like it.
फिफ्थ वन इज कस्टम मॉडल्स। अपने बिजनेस के लिए कस्टम मॉडल्स बनवाना मे बी ये एंटरप्राइज फीचर होगा, क्योंकि ये डायरेक्टली OpenAI के इंजीनियर्स के साथ मिलके स्पेसिफिक कंपनीज के लिए उनकी नीड के हिसाब से मॉडल्स बनाएंगे। एंड सैम सेड दैट कि कुछ कंपनीज के साथ ही ये काम कर सकते हैं क्योंकि लिमिटेड कैपेसिटी है, और मुझे जहां तक लगता है ये बड़ी कंपनीज के साथ ही काम करेंगे क्योंकि ये काफी कॉस्टली और नीश बेस्ड मॉडल्स होंगे।
You may want a model to learn a completely new knowledge domain, or to use a lot of proprietary data. So today we're launching a new program called Custom Models. With custom models, our researchers will work closely with a company to help them make a great custom model, especially for them and their use case using our tools. This includes modifying every step of the model training process, doing additional domain-specific pre-training, a custom RL post-training process tailored for a specific domain, and whatever else. We won't be able to do this with many companies to start. It'll take a lot of work, and in the interest of expectations, at least initially, it won't be cheap. But if you're excited to push things as far as they can currently go, please get in touch with us, and we think we can do something pretty great.
Sixth one is higher rate limits.
We're doubling the tokens per minute for all of our established GPT-4 customers so that it's easier to do more. And you'll be able to request changes to further rate limits and quotas directly in your API account settings.
इसके बाद आती है कॉपीराइट शील्ड की बात। मींस अगर आप किसी कॉपीराइट इशू में फंस जाते हैं, इनका मॉडल यूज करके कोई ऐप या कुछ और बनाने के बाद दे विल कवर द कॉस्ट, आपकी हेल्प करेंगे केस रिजॉल्व करने में। ये काफी अच्छा स्टेप है और इससे पहले माइक्रोसॉफ्ट और शटरस्टॉक जैसी कंपनीज ऐसा करने का दावा कर चुकी है। नाउ
So we're introducing Copyright Shield. Copyright Shield means that we will step in and defend our customers and pay the costs incurred if you face legal claims around copyright infringement, and this applies both to ChatGPT Enterprise and the API. And let me be clear, this is a good time to remind people, we do not train on data from the API or ChatGPT Enterprise ever.
द प्राइसिंग काफी सस्ता हो गया है। GPT-4 टर्बो 2.75 टाइम्स चीपर होगा GPT-4 से।
I'm super excited to announce that we worked really hard on this, and GPT-4 Turbo, a better model, is considerably cheaper than GPT-4. by a factor of 3x for prompt tokens and 2x for completion tokens starting today. So the new pricing is 1 cent per 1,000 prompt tokens and 3 cents per 1,000 completion tokens. For most customers, that will lead to a blended rate more than 2.75 times cheaper to use for GPT-4 Turbo than GPT-4. We worked super hard to make this happen. We hope you're as excited about it as we are.
लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द इंटरफेस। इसमें अब जाके चूज नहीं करना पड़ेगा कि वेब सर्च विद बिंज यूज करना है या डॉली 3। अब सिर्फ इनपुट दीजिए और उसके अकॉर्डिंग मॉडल चूज करेगा। दैट विल बी लॉट इजियर।
Extremely annoying. That is gone starting today. You will not have to click around the drop-down menu. All of this will just work together. ChatGPT, yeah.
अगली बहुत ही बड़ी अनाउंसमेंट है GPTs, जिसके बाद एक्सटेंशंस की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। एक्सटेंशंस बिल्कुल ही यूज में नहीं आएंगे। इससे आप कस्टमाइज वर्जन्स बनाएंगे ChatGPT के और उससे अपना काम करवाइए या बात करिए और उसे पब्लिश भी कर सकते हैं ताकि और लोग भी उसे यूज कर सकें। प्लस आप Zapier का भी यूज कर सकते हैं। इसे देखिए।
Thrilled to introduce GPTs. GPTs are tailored versions of ChatGPT for a specific purpose. You can build a GPT, a customized version of ChatGPT for almost anything, with instructions, expanded knowledge, and actions, and then you can publish it for others to use. And because they combine instructions, expanded knowledge, and actions, they can be more helpful to you. They can work better in many contexts, and they can give you better control. Next, Canva has built a GPT that lets you start designing by describing what you want in natural language. If you say, make a poster for a dev day reception this evening, and you give it some details, it'll generate a few options to start with by hitting Canva's APIs. Now, this concept may be familiar to some of you. We've evolved our plugins to be custom actions for GPTs. You can keep chatting with this to see different iterations, and when you see one you like, you can click through to Canva for the full design experience.
So to start, where your GPT will live is on this upper left corner. I'm going to start with clicking on the Zapier AI actions. And on the right-hand side, you can see that's my calendar for today. So it's quite a day. I've already used this before, so it's actually already connected to my calendar. To start, I can ask, what's on my schedule for today? We build GPTs with security in mind. So before it performs any action or share data, it will ask for your permission. So right here, I'm going to say aloud. So GPT is designed to take in your instructions, make the decision on which capability to call to perform that action, and then execute that for you. So you can see right here, it's already connected to my calendar. It pulls into my information, and then I've also prompted it to identify conflicts on my calendar. So you can see right here, it actually was able to identify that. So it looks like I have something coming up. So what if I want to let Sam know that I have to leave early? So right here I say, let Sam know I gotta go, chasing GPUs. So with that, I'm going to swap to my conversation with Sam, and then I'm going to say, yes, please run that. Sam, did you get that?
I did.
है ना ये शानदार अपडेट। और अब देखिए कि कैसे आप अपना AI असिस्टेंट बना सकते हैं और उसमें अपना डेटा मैनुअली अपलोड कर सकते हैं। इसमें आप नाम, आइकन और इंस्ट्रक्शंस भी जनरेट करवा सकते हैं और आपको राइट साइड में प्रीव्यू पैनल दिखेगा। उसमें देखते रहिए क्या क्या अपडेट हो चुका है और नीचे स्क्रॉल करने पर आपको नॉलेज का सेक्शन मिलेगा जिसमें आप कस्टम फाइल्स या PDF अपलोड कीजिए जिसमें आपकी इन्फो हो, जो एक डेटा रिट्रीवल की तरह काम करेगा इस AI असिस्टेंट के लिए। एंड कैपेबिलिटीज भी ऑन ऑफ कर सकते हैं अपने हिसाब से, जो चाहिए वो टिक और जो नहीं वो अनटिक। ऐसे ही बहुत सारे कस्टम GPTs बना सकते हैं। एंड अगर आप पब्लिश करना चाहते हैं तो उसे वो भी कर सकते हैं, अदरवाइज ओनली मी रहने दीजिए। अगर पब्लिश करेंगे तो ये GPT के स्टोर में मिलेगा और अगर कोई आपका पेड मॉडल यूज करता है तो उससे जो रेवेन्यू जनरेट होगा OpenAI आपके साथ उसे शेयर करेगा। अभी ये स्टोर आया नहीं है लेकिन इस मंथ के एंड तक शायद आ जाए।
Good. So if I didn't like the name, of course I could call it something else, but it's going to try to have this conversation with me and start there. And you can see here on the right in the preview mode that it's already starting to fill out the GPT, where it says what it does. It has some like ideas of additional questions that I could ask. And you know what? So it just generated a candidate. Of course I could regenerate that or change it, but I sort of like that. So I will say, that's great. And you see now that the GPT is being built out a little bit more as we go. Now, what I want this to do, how it can interact with users, I could talk about style here, but what I'm going to say is I am going to upload transcripts of some lectures about startups I have given. Please give advice based off of those. All right. So now it's going to go figure out how to do that. And I would like to show you the configure tab. So you can see some of the things that were built out here as we were going by the builder itself. And you can see that there's capabilities here that I can enable. I could add custom actions. These are all fine to leave. I'm going to upload a file. So here is a lecture that I picked that I gave with some startup advice. And I'm going to add that here. In terms of these questions, this is a dumb one. The rest of those are reasonable and like very much things founders often ask. I'm going to add one more thing to the instructions here, which is be concise and constructive with feedback. All right, so again, if we had more time, I'd show you a bunch of other things, but this is like a decent start. And I'm going to publish this only to me for now. I can work on it later. I can add more content. I can add a few actions that I think would be useful, and then I can share it publicly. So that's what it looks like to create a GPT. And later this month, we're going to launch the GPT store. You can list a GPT there, and we'll be able to feature the best and the most popular GPTs. Of course, we'll make sure that GPTs in the store follow our policies before they're accessible. Revenue sharing is important to us. We're going to pay people who build the most useful and the most used GPTs a portion of our revenue. We're excited to foster a vibrant ecosystem with the GPT store. Just from what we've been building ourselves over the weekend, we're confident there's going to be a lot of great stuff. We're excited to share more information soon.
एंड एट द एंड उन्होंने कुछ कमाल की चीज़ दिखाई. देखिए वंडरलस्ट असिस्टेंट जो ट्रैवल में बहुत हेल्प करेगा.
Programmatically using the new DALL-E 3 API available to all of you today. So it's pretty remarkable. Enhance this app by adding a very simple assistant to it. This is the screen. We're going to come back to it in a second. First, I'm going to switch over to the new assistants playground. Creating an assistant is easy. You just give it a name, some initial instructions, a model. In this case, I'll pick GPT-4 Turbo. And here, I'll also go ahead and select some tools. I'll turn on code interpreter and retrieval and save. And that's it. Our assistant is ready to go. Next, I can integrate with two new primitives of this assistance API, threads and messages. Let's take a quick look at the code. The process here is very simple. For each new user, I will create a new thread. And as these users engage with their assistant, I will add their messages to the threads. Very simple. And then I can simply run the assistant at any time to stream the responses back to the app. So we can return to the app and try that in action. If I say, hey, let's go to Paris. That's it. With just a few lines of code, users can now have a very specialized assistant right inside the app. And I'd like to highlight one of my favorite features here, function calling. If you have not used it yet, function calling is really powerful. And as Sam mentioned, we're taking it a step further today. It now guarantees the JSON output with no added latency, and you can invoke multiple functions at once for the first time. So here, if I carry on and say, hey, what are the top 10 things to do? I'm going to have the assistant respond to that again. And here, what's interesting is that the assistant knows about functions, including those to annotate the map that you see on the right. And so now all of these pins are dropping in real time here. Let's talk about retrieval. And retrieval is about giving our assistant more knowledge beyond these immediate user messages. In fact, I got inspired and I already booked my tickets to Paris. So I'm just going to drag and drop here this PDF. While it's uploading, I can just sneak peek at it. Very typical United flight ticket. And behind the scene here, what's happening is that retrieval is reading these files, and boom, the information about this PDF appeared on the screen.
तो आपको ये अपडेट्स कैसे लगे? क्या आप GPT प्लस यूज करते हैं? अगर हाँ, तो क्या आपको ये फीचर्स मिले? नाउ वीडियो को लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए, कमेंट कीजिए. इससे मुझे मोटिवेशन मिलेगी टू मेक मोर वीडियोस. बाय.